Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today I'm going to be talking about my favourite middle grade books. So I already have a favourite middle grade books video, which absolutely I sometimes look back on it and I'm amazed at how many views it has because at the time I thought it was a flop, but now I look back and it has over 1,000 views, so obviously it keeps accumulating views. So I thought I would do an updated version because I went back and watched that old one and it was a bit cringy. So I thought I'd do a slightly better version. So yes, stay tuned. And I've read a few more series since then, so I've added a few extras to the list. So yeah, this is just all my favourite middle grade books, and I love middle grade as a genre. It captures that inner child within everyone, I feel like, and just the kind of imagination and just joy you get from reading. There's something just really special about it, and I truly believe anyone of any age can enjoy middle grade. I think it's something that adults can and should read because they always have such great messages and just hope and being better people and being better doing better for the world. I don't know, there's just something so wholesome about them. And yeah, I just think the world would truly be a better place if more people read more middle grade. So yeah, so let's just get started. So the first series that I'm going to mention is an OG favourite of mine, and that is the Frostheart series by Jamie Littler. So at the moment there are two books out. The first book is Frostheart and the second book is Frostheart Escape from Aurora, and these editions are so stunning. Look at these edges, I love them. And this one's kind of cool. It's got a little flappy bit. Oh, I never noticed that. There's sharks and things on the inside. That's cool. Anyway, yeah, and these are just so great, so heartwarming. So they're kind of polar fantasy, which is really cool, and set in a very snowy, cold environment, and you just feel so cozy while reading. And also they also have illustrations throughout. There's illustrations on most of the pages almost, and I feel that just really adds to the story, and the illustrations are done by the author as well. He does both the writing and the illustrating, which is cool. And we're following Ash, who he's the main character. That's him. First of all, he's so adorable. He's one of the cutest characters, and he basically discovers he has this power of singing, so singing magic. And one day he comes across this crew of the Frostheart and he joins the crew, and they sort of go on a mission. Ash is trying to track down his parents, who has this scroll with this kind of clue. He's learning more about his powers and he's trying to find his parents, and it's just very wholesome. I mean, all middle grades are wholesome, but just following the characters is really just a joy. And yeah, the second one, there's a bit, it ramps up on the political intrigue. Honestly, some of the politics in this book are better than some adult fantasies I've read. The nuance, and it's just really good. And they're trying to, well, in the first half they're basically escaping from Aurora, which is a city, and then the second half they sort of end up in the wilds in this magical forest, which is so cool. I love magical forest settings. So yeah, I'd highly recommend both books in the series, and this is just a very cute series. So yeah, definitely recommend this one. Then next we have The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill, and this book is so beautiful. It's very Studio Ghibli vibes. Yeah, I feel it would make a really good adaptation. It's kind of set on a volcano, which is really cool, and it really reminds me of a specific episode from Avatar: The Last Airbender. But I actually really love volcanoes and volcanic settings, and it makes me remember geography. And volcanoes were always one of my favourite elements of geography. I always definitely preferred physical geography over human geography. But anyway, so we're following the main character Luna, and she basically gets put from this village. They have to sacrifice a baby to this witch every month or year or something. But the witch is she wonders why all these babies keep getting abandoned, so she thinks she's rescuing the babies, but the village thinks they're sacrificing the babies. But anyway, one day the witch takes away Luna, and she accidentally gives her moonlight instead of sunlight, or no, instead of starlight. Well, the sun is a star, but anyway, that's another conversation. So she accidentally gets moonlight, so this gives her a special set of powers. So the witch decides to keep Luna for herself and raise her herself. So it's mainly a kind of coming of age of just Luna growing up in this sort of almost like swampy type thing, with the witch and some other characters. And also she has this tiny little dragon, Virion, who's so cute. I love little animal companions, they're always really cute. And it just has a lot of very like heartwarming messages, like every other book in this video. I'm sure I'm going to say the word heartwarming about 10 times, no, about 100 times in this video. But anyway, and the writing is beautiful, I think I already said that. But yeah, so I'd highly recommend giving this one a go. Yeah. Then next we have Orion Lost by Alexander Chisholm, and this is a really great one. This is middle grade sci-fi actually, which I don't see a lot of, but I actually really love. And I really like in this one how we're focusing a lot on kind of the like mechanics and science, and seeing young girls especially like getting into science and taking more of a leadership role, especially in STEM. I really like that, and I feel like young girls reading this book would just, it would mean a lot. I don't know, I just, seeing like kiddies getting into science just makes me very happy. I really love that. And we're following these, so they're on this ship like going to this new planet to like live there or whatever, and all the adults get like put to sleep, so there's only these like few, I think there's about 4 of them, kids who are left awake. So they have to try and sort out what's happened and like this mystery by themselves, and they're sort of helped / hindered by the AI on the ship, which is very interesting. And there's this mystery, and then it starts like the characters start losing sections of time, and it becomes very cool. It's a very well done mystery, and yeah, I just love this little crew of characters like in space trying to save the whole ship, which is very like classical middle grade. Like you have these children who are like way out of their depths and they have to save the world. But no, I really enjoyed this one and I would really highly recommend it. Then next we have Pinch of Magic, A Sprinkle of Sorcery and A Tangle of Spells by Michelle Harrison. So I only have A Sprinkle of Sorcery physical copy, but I've read them all and they're all really good. So this is a very like atmospheric middle grade series. So the first book, A Pinch of Magic, was set in this island called Crowstone, and we're following these 3 sisters, the auditions. So Betty is the main character and she's the middle sister, Fliss who's the older sister, and Charlie who's the younger sister. And they basically, due to a family curse, they're like trapped on this island, so they can't leave. And so they are investigating like this curse and the cause of the curse and what's happened. So that's kind of the first book, and it's very I really liked how the sort of 2 storylines, well 2 timelines sort of tied together, because we're also finding out what's going on in the past and how that ties into like current events, and I thought that was really cool. And also the 3 sisters get these magical objects from their grandma. So like one of them is a set of these like Russian dolls that sort of you can put something inside and then of someone's, and then that'll turn them invisible. And they have this like travelling bag where you can like go through it and go to a different place. But just the whole, I feel like the real highlight of these books for me is the atmosphere. Well, and also the like sister relationship, but the atmosphere is so good. It's like the misty, spooky, atmospheric island. It's very like kind of Whitby type vibes. I don't know if that would make sense if you don't live in the UK, but, or just sort of an island like the Farne Islands, that whole like northeast England. I just feel like it gives me that nostalgia from like trips there when I was a kid. And in the third one as well, it's like set in a village and there's some kind of like curse / spell on this village, and everyone's very like false, I don't know what to say, like falsely happy almost. It's like this perfect utopia, but there's like something going on under the surface, which is cool. And then in this one it's a bit piratey, which you can kind of tell from the cover. But no, they're just really great, and I love seeing the 3 sisters like teaming up and having adventures. So yeah, would definitely highly recommend this series. Then next we have Sophie Anderson's book. So there's The House with Chicken Legs, The Girl Who Speaks Bear and The Castle of Tangled Magic. And these are all really great. They're all kind of companion books, so you could read them all separately or you can read them all together. I think there is a little bit of tie-in. Like in this one, I think they like they're going on a journey and they like come across the characters from the first one. And then this one is a tie-in, which is really good, but I'm not going to say it. But yeah, because it's a bit of a spoiler, but I was very happy with the crossover. But yeah, they're all really good. The first one, The House of Chicken Legs, we're following main character Marina, and her like grandma is Baba Yaga, so she's kind of learning how to become the next Baba Yaga, and her parents had recently died as well, so she's kind of coming to terms with that. And then in The Girl Who Speaks Bear, we're following, what's her name? Yanka, and she basically can like transform into a bear, and she just sort of goes to on this journey in the woods to try and discover like who she really is. It's very like wholesome, and like it kind of highlights the like importance of family, and there's like illustrations. It's very, very pretty. And then in this one, we're following Olia, and she basically one day steps through this like magical portal and gets transported to this land of like Tangled Magic. So there's like magic everywhere, and it's like knotted, and you can kind of see like, and apparently it all leads to this like wizard, and in order to untangle the magic they have to go to the wizard and cut his beard off. And obviously they go and do this, and then this turns out not to help. So then they have to try and like save the world. But this one gives me like part Anastasia vibes, because it's like they're kind of the descendants of like royalty, and they're now like quite poor because royals have been like eradicated. But also Frozen 2 vibes, I feel like, because it's very like elemental, especially the like land of Tangled Magic, and there's like areas of the world, I'll try and find them. So there's like the air dome, the water dome, the fire dome, and the earth dome. So yeah, I'd really highly recommend this series. It's very like kind of Russian folklore, and very like, again, atmospheric, and so yeah, just really great series. So I would highly recommend it. Okay, then next we have the Araisha and the End of Time books. So I have the first 3 here because these are all the ones that's out in the UK, but it is going to be a quartet, and I believe the last one comes out quite soon. So we have Araisha and the End of Time, Araisha and the Song of Death, and Araisha and the Tree of Wishes. And I haven't actually read the 3rd one yet, but I have read the first 2, and they're really fun. Aru's a great character. She's kind of, at the beginning of the first book, she's kind of a character that like likes to tell like slight white lies and like embellish her life to try and like improve her standing in like school and sort of be more popular. But she basically accidentally awakens this cursed lamp and frees this demon, so she then has to try and like stop this demon from destroying everything and like save the world. And she also discovers that she's kind of a descendant of one of the original like Pandava brothers. So in a sense, that's sort of like demigods from Percy Jackson, these like descendants of the brothers. And she teams up with another one of them, and then they meet another one in this one, and then I think another couple in the 3rd one. Yeah, and there's also this like pigeon character who like used to be a god, and he's really like sassy, and I just love a good talking animal character, especially in a middle grade. I feel like they always like bring the humour. But yeah, Ari's a great character to follow around, and I love the like mythology and the way it's woven in. They're very reminiscent of like Rick Riordan books, especially in terms of like the humour and just the whole like quest thing. So yeah, if you like them, you'll definitely like these, but it's a really enjoyable series, so would highly recommend. I definitely want to try and read more of the Rick Riordan Presents books, because there's like so many now as well. I've read a couple, but I really, yeah, want to read more. And on that note, I love Rick Riordan's books. So the Percy Jackson series, the Heroes of Olympus series, the Trials of Apollo, the Magnus Chase, there's so many of them. I think my favourite is probably the Trials of Apollo books, just because I love Apollo as a character. He's so funny. He's very like vain and kind of self-centered, but he also has this like hidden, not even sweet side, like hidden hero side almost. And his relationship with his like human companion thing, Meg, is really good. I know some people don't like Meg, but I actually really like her. And her magic, I think she's a child of Demeter, who's like the goddess of the harvest or plants or something. So her magic is really cool. And like Apollo and Meg are such a comedy duo. And I just really like the stories in that book. And I also like the original. Obviously Percy's a great character as well. And I really like the Heroes of Olympus. I love all the 7, especially Hazel. She's a great character. And Leo as well. I like Leo and Piper. I just love them all. And I also really like the Magnus Chase books. I like the Norse mythology. And I also really like Magnus. He's very like sunshine type character. And Magnus and Alex as well. I love their relationship. They're like very grumpy sunshine. Yeah, so I just really love all his books. They're just so much fun, and they are quite similar to each other. They all follow a very like similar structure, but also it's just so comforting to read, and like the characters are always really fun, and just the mythology is cool, so it's like, I don't know, just a fun time. Yeah. Next we have a newer book, and that is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston, and this one I feel like is just a mishmash of all elements of middle grade from other books that I really love, like put into one like perfect book. And this one is just so much fun. So we're following Amari, and her brother has like gone missing, and a lot of people think he's dead, but Amari's convinced he's still alive, and she gets like a kind of visitation dream almost from him one night, telling her to like come to this like magical bureau, and it's like the bureau is like a summer camp, and Amari's brother used to go there, so now Amari is going, and when she gets there she discovers it's like this magical supernatural investigations like bureau. You have to undergo these trials to try and get their like chosen role, and Amari wants to be like the special investigator, which is what her brother was. So it's partly her like undergoing these trials, and it's partly her trying to investigate what happened to her brother and like unravel that mystery, and also just trying to like assimilate into the bureau. It's kind of like a magical school, and just making like new friends, which is really cool. And then also Amari learns that she is a magician, and being a magician is like illegal. So that's another like thing that she has to kind of contend with. And like there's obviously quite a lot of history with the magicians, and like previous magicians have been quite evil, so that's why it's kind of seen as illegal. So yeah, and like Amari is like, am I evil because I'm a magician? And that whole kind of classic like middle grade thing. But yeah, so this one's just really enjoyable, and I feel like it's the start of like the next great series in middle grade. So yeah, I would highly recommend this one as well. And then kind of similar to Amari, we have the Nevermore series. So I have here Wondersmith and Hollowpox. I really want the hardback of Nevermore, but it's really hard to find the UK hardback. So yeah, and I'll just get out while I'm talking the naked covers because they're very pretty. So in this one we're following Morrigan Crow, who on her 11th birthday she's like told she's gonna die, but like the night before she gets whisked away by this character called Jupiter North to this magical land called Nevermore. Yeah, so let me show you these covers because they're so pretty. Yeah, look at that. Also the end pages, they're so cool. Yeah, so when she gets there, Morrigan is undergoing these like trials to join the Wondrous Society, and she also discovers she is this Wondersmith, and Wondersmiths are like very rare, and they have the power to like control wonder, which wonders the kind of like magic, and everyone has like knacks, which is their like magical talent. So Morrigan's as being a Wondersmith. Previous Wondersmith was like super evil and like went rogue. So Morrigan is like trying to prove that she's like good and not her magic. But at the same time, this previous Wondersmith, Ezra Swall, who is a great villain. I love him so much. He's very like suave and charming, and whenever he's like on page, you're like almost convinced by him and like want to join his side. Yeah, so he's a really good villain, and he has quite a lot of nuance for a villain, which I feel like you don't see as often in middle grade. They're often like cookie cutter villains, but he's a very like complex villain, which I really love. So yeah, so Morrigan is also sort of learning about her Wondersmith powers from him, or he's trying to convince Morrigan to learn. So, and then in the next two books, it's just more like the kind of whole, like, it's a bit magical schooly. And in Hollowpox is interesting because there's this like disease, a contagious disease going around, which sounds familiar, to kind of infecting all the animals, and these like what they call wonimals, so like animals who are kind of intelligent and can like speak and stuff, and it's very similar to Zootopia, weirdly. But I really enjoyed them all. I think I gave both of these 5 stars, and then I think I gave one Nevermore 4 stars, but it's still a really great series. Yeah, it's just very like whimsical, and there's kind of as well there's like a hotel setting because Jupiter, who becomes like Morrigan's guardian, owns this like hotel, and that's kind of where they live, which is really cool. I always love a book set in a hotel. So yeah, it's just a really great series. Would highly recommend. Okay, And then saving the best till last, one of my favourite series, and that's the Keeper of the Lost City series by Shannon Messenger. And I own all these on audio. And it's nearly completed. There's a lot of books. I think there's gonna be like 9 books in total, and the last book comes out this November, I think. But yeah, we're following Sophie, who's like grown up in the human world, and one day she learns she's an elf, and so she gets taken away into like the elven world and these like lost cities, which are where the elves live. And she like discovers as an elf she has like telepathy as a power. Is it telepathy or telekinesis? I'm pretty sure it's telepathy. And she discovers she is like the kind of mysterious like legacy of, there's all these secret societies, and like Sophie has all these hidden connections to them, so they're trying to unravel that. And at the same time she's like going to this magical elven school called Foxfire. So the first book is very like kind of classic like middle grade type thing. But I really like all the themes explored. Like the books, they kind of go quite deep. Like there's often talk of like grief, and also Sophie kind of becomes like adopted by these 2 other characters called Grady and Ettaline, and they lost their daughter like tragically many years ago. So there's a bit of discussion around that as well. And also they eventually like adopt Sophie, and so there's that discussion as well. So it's just really good. I love the little friendship groups. Sophie's a great character, and watching her like grow throughout the series and sort of grow into like a leadership role is really good. Also Keith, one of the other characters, I love him so much. I feel like it's impossible to read the series and not love Keith. He's just like this precious but also a bit of a tragic, and like really cheeky and charming, and I just love him. He was like my baby, would do anything to protect him. Yeah, I mean some of the books is a bit of like obviously written for a younger audience, like relationship type drama, but I mean I can forgive it that because it is intended for like a middle grade audience. But the characters are just so great, the messages, the like whimsy of the world. I love the like elven world. It's really kind of magical, I guess. Oh, I'm bleeding. Uh-oh. Why do I always bleed on camera? I must have picked a scratch. Maisie likes to scratch me. Naughty girl. I don't know where she is. She hasn't made a cameo on one of my videos for a while. But yeah, no, I just really enjoyed the series. It's a very epic series. If you're looking for a new long middle grade series to replace the series that shall not be named, would highly recommend. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments one of your favourite middle grade books that you've read. I would really love to know. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I hope you're all having a great day, and I'll see you next time.